I've missed you guys. Wow, I know football is not on, but doesn't mean that we don't keep in touch. Hey, guys, only you know me when it's football. Ah,
Man, it's good to be back. The football gods. How you guys doing in Togo?
I'm all right, man. The players needed a break, so we also need to take a break. You know? Football is very emotionally demanding, so I think it's good that we also take the the what the break as well, and then yeah, it's good to be back for preseason.
yep,
Yeah.
football got
Kulego?
back, baby. You and improved.
Yeah, guys. Yeah. New season. I almost said new year, but it's actually not, but new seasons
Mm.
coming along, and a lot of things have been happening, man. Kulego, what can you tell us, bro?
Yo, life has been tough without football. Hey, I've realized that I don't have a life outside football, sadly enough. Okay, don't my girl mustn't hear me say that. Sorry. Oh, I
I was
reversed.
about to say, be careful, be
Yeah,
careful. Mm.
she's happy probably. And it's recording on a Friday now. Wow, how sad. So yeah, there's a lot, guys. But for me, the most entertaining thing that's been keeping me engrossed in football is just the Saudi revolution. Some call it sport washing. It depends on which end of the spectrum you're on, but it's a revolution of note. Who would have thought that the leading European players are going to Saudi Arabia? I mean, people that are at the peak of their powers as well, not just the tail end of their career, that have, good years ahead of them, or even not good years. The best years must have been accomplished, but they definitely can have, perform at the highest level. And it's not stopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my first point of departure, guys. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah. Just on that point, right? I like what you just said now that the several players who have moved there, while some of them are past their peak, some of them are about to get into their peak. And for me, that's when I knew that this Saudi Pro League is revolutionary. As soon as
Like
they
who,
start,
though? Who's about to get to the peak that moves to Saudi?
and I was about to say, as soon as they signed Ruben Neves, my man, I knew this has changed. The game has
All this Ruben
changed.
Neves.
Bro,
No,
I think if I'm not mistaken,
That guy,
not Neves.
sorry,
Listen,
sorry to
though.
cut it. Neves
listen, bro,
played for Wolves, guys. Like
listen.
let's not act like Saudi took a player from Real Madrid or from Bayern Munich. They took a player from
No, but in Togo, this is the point I'm trying to land, right? Neves is in his 20s. He's not 30. He's in his 20s, number one. He's probably one in the top 10 of best EPL midfielders last
top
season.
10.
Top 10. No, I mean
Ah,
current season, the past season, in that season, right? And
okay.
he was dubbed to join Barcelona. Do you realize that this guy was about to hit the big time in terms of playing in the Champions League, the possibility of winning it?
The same Barcelona that just signed Romeo. But
No,
continue.
Togo,
come on.
wait,
Let's ignore that
wait,
part.
Togo, wait. Can I, shoot, Gamza, can I give him the names? Ne? He
Okay.
he's of the opinion of a different opinion. Ruben Neves goes to Al Hilal. Sergey Milinkovic Savic, the Lazio guy.
Yes.
Jota
Okay. Finish.
from Jota from Celtic. Celtic
Yes.
All-Star
Wow.
is the most promising player for the past 2 seasons in Scotland.
Yes.
Kalidou Koulibaly. Wow, let me finish.
I'm
Seko
waiting.
Seko Fofana, French international footballer, was at the World Cup. Edward
Yes.
Mendy, Senegal #1 keeper, FIFA best keeper in the past season.
Yes.
A goalkeeper gets to their prime over 30 years. Marcelo Brazovic, the best defensive midfielder in Italy.
Yeah.
Mateus Pereira from West Brom. Gonzalo Martinez. Ahmed Musa. Kante. Jordan Anderson.
Can I talk now?
Jordan Anderson.
We say no.
Fabinho.
You are calling players who are going towards the tail end of their careers. You guys are saying players who are about to reach their peak have moved to Saudi.
But
I am saying,
that's not the main argument here. That's not the main argument.
What's the argument? Yeah, what's the argument?
For me, Ruben Neves, I'm going to mention the transfers that he's spoken about right now. Ruben Neves, Fofana, that guy from Celtic. Those are players that can literally move to the biggest clubs in Europe. But they chose to go to the Saudi Pro. We all
I cannot do that. So, frankly, Ruben Neves is a good player. Don't get me wrong, right? But let's not act like these guys are signing the cream of the crop. None, zero of those players you guys
named. No. But Savage.
Anyway, near being top 20 footballers. Like Benzema is towards the end of the career. All the best players that these guys have signed are close to retirement. Your Benzemas, your Kantes, all of these guys, I'm not going to say are washed, but you know what I mean? They're not at the top level, or they wouldn't have been at the top level from this point going forward. So what we are seeing from Saudi right now, to me, honestly, is nothing different from what we've seen from MLS, from what we've seen from China, right? It's just that, yes, niggas are getting crazy money for that. But I don't think there's any cause for concern if you are the Premier League specifically, because the Premier League, I still think, the Premier League and Champions League, and if you are like the Real Madrids of the world, the real big teams, the Bayern Munich, there's no way a player is going to choose Saudi over those big teams. And so, like, as far as I'm concerned, like everybody's just overreacting. That's just my thing. Right?
I hear you. But the word that you used, there's no way. It's happening. And that's the point I'm trying to drive to. Ruben Neves literally said no to Barcelona. Listen, that Savage Oak.
He did.
That Savage Oak was supposed to replace Partey. Do you know Arsenal wanted to spend 50 or 40 million on that guy? That guy is probably top 5 CDM.
Like PSG wanted N'Golo Kante. PSG wanted N'Golo Kante. He went to
How old is N'Golo Kante?
It doesn't matter. Like, he's wanted by PSG.
It does matter.
It doesn't.
It does matter. And this is what I'm saying. What is your argument? Because 1 minute you're saying players who are about to reach their peak. Saudi's competing with the European teams for players who are about to reach their peak. And I'm saying that's not the fact. Like, that's not the case. Barcelona had Ruben Neves as a maybe because you know them and their financial issues and their million triggers or whatever. So Neves, it wasn't a done deal that they were going to say. I can even just in the time now what you think. But Xavi, there's even a statement I remember reading. Xavi's like, he's not a priority right now. He's not a priority. So Neves just did a smart business thing. I was like, look, there's a chance I can go to Barcelona, the great Barcelona, or there's a concrete offer here in Saudi, whatever, which is not like an amazing footballing nation, but it's lucrative, right? Money, whatever. Mm-hmm. And once again, I'm saying this is nothing new. I gave you the example of Oscar with Oscar moving to to the Chinese league. There have been many players who, a lot of people thought were going to be stars who moved to the MLS, like your Carlos Velas, your Giovincos, all of these guys, people thought, oh, these guys are going to be big. Those guys moved in their so-called primes. Like, honestly, like there's nothing that Saudi has done.
Okay.
Once
You can't
we get to a point where they're going
can't-
to, you see,
you
wait,
can't-
wait,
you
wait,
can't discount the
wait,
volume.
let you guys talk. Can I land? Once, if there was a situation where there was a Saudi team competing with Arsenal to sign Rice, or there was a Saudi team competing with Man United to sign Onana or whatever, if we get to that point, then first, if it's like players that are, you know, the big teams, your Man United, your Arsenal, your Real Madrids, your Barcelonas, who are trying to sign the same players as Saudi, and players are choosing Saudi, then we can have an argument. Then we can say, okay, maybe this is an issue. But as far as I'm concerned, every single player that you've named that's gone to Saudi, like none of the big teams, that they want a priority.
But we just gave you stats.
No.
We just gave you.
And that's the
PSG
difference.
wanted Kante. Brozovic was wanted by AC Milan.
And
And
PSG.
PSG wanted him. Who's this guy?
From Lazio, that guy from Lazio.
Firmino was wanted by Barcelona. Neves was wanted. We're not disputing priority here.
Please stop using Barcelona as an example, guys. Like Barcelona, we know like I can't compete.
But we've given you PSG.
Okay.
We've given you PSG. We've given you Barcelona. We've also given you AC Milan. We've also given you Arsenal. You know, Arsenal wanted who's this guy?
The guy from Lazio.
Yeah.
The guy.
Savic.
Yeah.
They wanted him.
So wait. Are you guys saying that Arsenal's second choice was Declan Rice? Is that what you're saying? Because that's
man. Remember Arsenal. No, listen.
So
listen. Ndogo, listen, right? So before Declan Rice, Arsenal has been scouting this guy. They wanted to buy him last season to start.
We wanted Declan Rice last season as well.
Well, they were targeting him and Declan Rice. I don't know both. I don't know obviously the transfer strategy from Arsenal, but I know they were both targeted. It didn't happen for both last season. They tried again this season, and this Oak literally just told them, no, I'm going to Saudi Pro. And there was no argument. And for me, that's a lot. And this player, and this player, Ndogo, right, that we're talking about, is in his prime. He is under 30. And he is a superb player, no doubt.
Clearly not. Right?
But he is.
Also, like sources are like a thing. Like, who are these sources that claim? Because the two players we know for sure from credible sources that Arsenal wanted in that position was Caicedo and Declan Rice. These ones are from credible sources. Arsenal have bids. Huh?
Who's the credible source?
There's two major ones. It's Fabrizio and it's Ornstein, right? I'm not saying they are the only ones. Am I wrong?
Okay.
I'm not saying they are the only credible sources.
No, fine.
They've proven over time to be the main. If they say something, there's definitely some truth to it. Once again, I'm not saying others aren't, but I'm just saying those are the top guys. Yes.
I'm saying, listen to
and over and above that, the clubs have even come out. Brighton came out and said, hey, Caicedo himself came out and said, yo, I want to move to Arsenal in January. All of these. So I'm just saying, those ones, we've got evidence. This player that you guys are talking about, where's the evidence, guys?
And that's what I'm trying to answer you. The evidence of this guy from Lazio, the same Fabrizi that you're talking about, had already reported on it that Arsenal wants this guy.
Okay, so did Arsenal bid for this guy?
So Fabrizio is not reliable, though. Also, he said that.
Did Arsenal bid for this guy or not? Yes or
I don't know. I don't want to say.
So, like, did we really want him?
But I'm saying your boy.
So maybe we scouted him and realized he's not the guy.
I'm saying your boy Fabrizio as well as David Austin reported that Arsenal wanted this guy. We just didn't want to take out the money.
Guys, you can't say we didn't want to take out the money when we've taken out 105 million.
No, clearly we didn't want to.
Clearly it's not worth it then. Is that what
I don't know. I can't say that. But all I'm saying... No. Listen, all I'm saying is Saudi in 2 years' time is going to get into those battles where they bid for Declan Rice and Declan Rice will choose a Saudi club. This is just a build-up of it. And I'm also understanding your side, your point of view, saying, we've seen this in China, we've seen this in MLS. I understand that, but I think something is different with this one. And for me, the difference with this one, number one, is that the money is tax-free, obviously, and it's good money. Number two, they're starting to creep into the players in their so-called prime, right? They may not be getting the best of the best, like your Casemiro's at the prime or your Declan Rice's. But I'm saying it's just a matter of time if nothing gets done.
Okay. I disagree, but sure. I hear you.
No, fine.
No,
Fine to disagree.
Fair enough.
Time will tell.
Fair enough. So I guess Togozo doesn't see the Saudi Premier League fad. Okay, let me not speak on your behalf, sorry. So what's your view on the Saudi League? Like, is there a thing for you or not bothered?
My view is just it's something that we've seen before. It's as simple as that. Like as I said, we've seen it in China with the Chinese league. We've seen it with MLS. Right? I'm not saying they're not going to compete for certain types of players, but as far as the cream of the crop, as far as the best players in their prime, I think there's no competition. I still think the Premier League in particular, and outside of the Premier League, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, I think there's no competition there.
Okay. I have one question. I respect that. I have one question, right? My question is the same league that you're speaking about, which is the Saudi Pro League, right? There's a team there that was scouting Nico Pepe from Arsenal. And the exact same team said, no, we don't want to buy him. Isn't that a sign of where they are going? Because in the beginning, people just thought, they're just taking any player, if you know what I mean, right? But even they starting to have standards now. And that for me is a true indication of where this is going. Or a possible indication. Possible.
Okay. So if I can maybe just go to the foundation or the root of this whole Saudi thing, because it seems like it's happening overnight, right? Remember, Saudi is basically on a quest to host the 2030 World Cup, right?
Yeah.
So this whole Saudi Pro League, and the reason why it's also backed by the government and whatever, which is a whole nother thing in itself, is it's just meant to be a big marketing ploy in my view. And so beyond even all the money now, it's not a long-term thing. It's not a sustainable project. I think if they are successful in getting, or actually worst case scenario, if they don't get to host the 2030 World Cup, then the league probably won't want to compete anymore, because they'll realize, okay, this strategy that we've tried to employ hasn't worked. So let's try something else, maybe, So all I'm saying is their intentions, over and above all the money that they're throwing at this, their intentions aren't rooted in football. So that's what I'm saying. Like Togo, you said you don't want to speak for me, but it's fine that you use the word fad. Like even if, which like I said, I don't think will happen, even if they do end up competing in the next 2 years for the cream of the crop, it won't be sustainable. It won't go beyond 2030, in my view. Yeah. So that's the premise that I'm coming from as well, over and above just the competitiveness, over and above the heritage of European football and Champions League and all of those things. I think there's a long way to go for them to compete with the institution that is the Premier League. I think we are very much undermining or undervaluing the institution that is the Premier League, guys. Like, these guys are financial superpowers in their own rights. I know Saudi's got all the money, all of these things, but the Premier League is a beast. The Champions League is a beast. So the guys that should be scared are your Barcelonas, like I say, Real Madrid, I think is cool. Bayern, I think is cool. But the guys maybe that are shaking in their boots are the Barcelonas, your Atleticos, your Dortmunds, all of those things. So yeah, like I said, I really am doubling down on the fact that I don't think it's a cause for concern.
And Togo,
Okay.
can I ask you something? Like you raised a real serious point around the government involvement. What does FIFA say around government involvement? Like, what is the line actually that's used? Because I kind of feel like this is government involvement because the four top teams are owned by the Public Investment Corporation, which is a sovereign fund, which is directly accountable to the ruler. Is this different?
Dude, FIFA, as soon as FIFA let players wear Ukraine captain armbands and having moment of silence for the conflict in Ukraine, like no one respects FIFA's stance on, political interference and whatnot. Like they broke their own rules themselves, So like no one really cares about FIFA. So I think they might have also realized that, hey, I think we made a flop, and maybe that's why they haven't come out to condemn this whole Saudi thing, because they are hypocrites. Like, they're hypocrites. You tell people about the Palestine, and I don't want to go too deep into the political side because this is a sports show, but I'm just saying, FIFA says one thing and they do the other. I mean, clearly these guys, they just go where the money is. And as we say, the Saudis have the money. So even if they try and do something, my boy, one of the Saudi sheikhs is just going to give, is it still Infantino? Is going to give Infantino a call and be like, dog, like, here's a lie, it's 10 million, like, just keep it on the low. Like, that's just what they do. Like, that is FIFA, so I don't expect any interference from them.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys, right? Despite what we know that the Saudi pros backed by the government, despite all of that, are they genuinely doing something wrong? Why should Europe hold the power in football? Why?
No one man should have all that power.
Exactly. Why can't we diversify? Because at the end of the day, it's a player's choice. Yes, of course, some players chase money, some players don't. We've seen quite a few players reject moves to Saudi. So for me, I'm still backing it to go. Like, I'm still backing the league. I believe we need that change. The English Premier League needs to wake up. FIFA needs to wake up. What's this? La Liga needs to wake up. I mean, black players should be saying, no, I don't want to go to La Liga because I'm not protected as a black person. I don't want to go to Serie A. I'm not protected as a black person. Like, why should Romelu Lukaku be subjected to abuse and still take a lower salary in eating? No, guys. No.
I was thinking, like, could Africa not be the next thing? Like Morocco is Arabic, whatever, the money is probably entering there somehow. Motsipe in CAF started the CAF Super League, 8 teams. He's financially backing that. The Super League that's failed in Europe is coming to Africa. Shift of power, like it's so sad that I can't watch the PSL, and I'm just watching the EPL. Why? Like, PSL is patriotically, it's a league in my country. Can it not be a product that's up there? And that's what the Saudis are doing anyway. Like, we've got the financial muscle to make it happen. And I hope the Saudi Pro League goes into the DSTV bouquet, whatever. We get to actually see the Saudi Premier League as well. EPL is just dominated too much. I think we definitely need another player. I'm welcome.
I mean, so sorry. So I'm glad that you brought this angle up. So even with everything that I've said, right, about how I don't think it's a cause for concern, I do agree with everything that you've just said, that, like, it's almost like Europeans feel like they've got a divine right to football, right? So I am happy that they are being threatened a bit, and they feel this cause for concern. But like I said, I think, and this is why I keep emphasizing that I think the Premier League will be fine, because I think the Premier League has done things the right way, with as far as the TV rights and the distribution of basically money within the league. And this is why, like, just to go back to the whole Super League thing, why your Real Madrid and them wanted a Super League, because La Liga fucked it up. Like, La Liga put all their chips into Barcelona and Real Madrid as a league, and then like eventually it caught up to them. Like the rest of the teams, like, just couldn't compete, right? And it fucked up their league. So I think they are now feeling the consequences of that, and they will suffer because of the Saudi League and whatever. Italy will suffer as well for different reasons. Bundesliga will suffer for different reasons as well. But like, and this is what I'm saying. The Premier League have created something over time, guys. I mean, the Premier League, I think started in 91 or 92, whatever, So, yeah. Like the Premier League have cultivated a fantastic product. Like, hate English people all you want. Like, they created a fantastic product over a long time, and I think that needs to be respected.
On that point, what do you think was the tipping point for the Premier League? I can't nail it down. Like, what do you think was the tipping point? Because I just want to connect to that point that you're saying. Like, what do you think?
I think it was foreign players and foreign managers. I think just an embracing of other cultures, like getting foreign players, foreign managers, and just, having a different styles. And like I say, understanding that they wanted to create a competitive league. So understanding that they needed to share the money as equally as possible. So I think, it was just like a combination of things. But I think the biggest one, in my opinion, was just the inclusion of the different cultures and different nationalities in their football.
For me, it's the Abramovich era.
So was that?
I think for me, it's the Abramovich era. He changed the face, because he was the first foreign owner buying, like, you like, oh wow, people can actually buy clubs completely 100%. And build a squad organically through just buying. And he succeeded in that model. And then the influx came in, Man City, the likes, Liverpool, the Glazers. It was like, oh, now money bags are running football. That's what in my opinion, but
some would argue Wenger. Sorry, Strums. Go ahead.
No, I was saying even the Conquers bought Arsenal after Ibrahimovic.
Yeah. So I was just also adding my 2 cents and saying, Wenger's legacy as well, the different training methods and the of French players, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's been like a very like phased kind of thing. So yeah, I think they just got it spot on.
It's interesting. We'll continue in the next round, but it's interesting that the Premier League has a lot of tipping points that have shaped the product, right? There's like milestone moments, Wenger arriving, changing the face, like, oh wow, English footballers can actually play good football. Wow. Neck and neck with Fergie. A treble, oh wow, a European team can win a treble, Fergie. Abramovich, wow, I want to buy success. Wow, the sheikhs come in, want to buy success. So there's been a lot of tipping points. It's like a story. So yeah, the Premier League has had a lot of tipping points, guys. So it's hard to find a single thing, but to my point, it seems like it's been a story. There's a narrative. Like, it's almost as if you can write a book or a story about the Premier League and its development. And that's how, to your point, they've marketed the institution, that it's like you can tie it together like to different points, and human beings just love stories, and that's what they've really created as a product.
Yeah, like I think, I mean, I'm not saying for 1 second the Premier League is as big as these brands are about to make, but I think like you can liken the Premier League story and the way they've built their brand to, I mean, any big brand, if you think about Coca-Cola, you know what I mean? Like there's a story behind there. There's like a basic, like you've seen the development, the different phases over time. It's like Coke changing the bottles, the shape, the design, all of those things, you know. So I think when you look at it as a brand, you know, it's like it's one thing getting popular players and influence. I know we live in an influencer era or whatever, but I think like eventually, like the people who really like football, like because like you can't fake, as you say, like the narratives, like the Premier League, it had Wenger versus Fergie, like that as an era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Mourinho era. Now we're in the Pep kind of Klopp era. Like there's just been all sorts of like storylines, you know,
Yeah.
beyond just the quality of the football, and like that does, in my opinion, also affect the quality of the football. I mean, we've supported our teams since we first knew of the Premier League. Now we must go to Saudi and we must find teams, like we must know who Al Nasir is, and you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I'm gonna start all over. So maybe for the younger kids, maybe it will be a thing for them, you know. But like I said, even that's it's still gonna take time. You know, they must grow up and they must understand football and all of the things that come with it. So yeah, like it's not going to be easy. If the Saudi Pro League's plan is to compete with the Premier League specifically, like it's going to be a long journey.
Yeah, like on that point, right? I was reading something. Gary Neville was like, "Yeah, why is FIFA not doing anything about the Saudi Pro League? The Premier League has taken such a long time, like heavy investment over a period of time to build this brand." And at first, I said, this guy, what is he fearing? Right? For me, he said that from a place of fear. But I thought about it, and he is right. Because if I am a BMW or a Coca-Cola or whatever, it's taken me years, guys, to build that brand. It's not overnight. And I've invested in it, humans, money, all sorts of resources have been put. There's stories behind it. And for someone overnight to take it over, I mean, to take over from me, that's unfair. But I like that disruption because it puts people on their feet.
It
So
will
as
force
the
the
English
other leagues
Premier
to
League,
get better. Yeah.
exactly. That's the point I'm driving. Now, if I'm the English Premier League, I know I have a good brand and I know it's taken me years to build it. But how do I keep my place? And that's where innovation comes in. And we're going to see it. And, hey, bruh, they've been in the game for the longest of time. They know how it feels to be the third best league or the second best league. Remember, the English Premier League was not the best league in the world a few years ago. La Liga was. Serie A, in fact, at some point was the best league in the world. So they've seen how those have collapsed. Now they need to do something special. It's like, just because I love Arsenal, I need more. The product has to evolve. And I like that because that also puts the La Liga on the back foot, which is the league I've been asking for, like a lot change in that league and Serie A. So let's see. Because you know what? You know what would be funny? If the Premier League continues to build their brand and the other leagues, like such as La Liga and Serie A, don't do anything, it's going to get to a point. If I'm FIFA, right? It's going to get to a point where I'm like, you know what? The UEFA Champions League, that coefficient or whatever, screw that. I'm actually going to have the best brands in here. And if Saudi continue to invest like this and create stories, guess what? I'm going to have a UEFA Champions League with a Saudi team. I'm in top 4 Saudi teams. It's going to get to a point where it's no more European. It's going to be a global Champions League. You know how the Club World Cup, but now it's going to be like a proper tournament.
Have they not said they're expanding it to 32 teams? They have said they're expanding it anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. Apparently next year is going to be a top 5 now in the Premier League. So 5 teams are going to qualify for Champions League.
But
So
but guys, this is so interesting. So the Super League is taking a different guys, apparently. So
yes,
it's not just Europe.
I think,
So this is the pivot, right?
it's evolving.
It's the pivot. It's like the natural pivot. Oh, okay. FIFA used conspiracy theorists in me. Use these like, oh, let's see what these guys Super League. Oh, okay, there was backlash. Ah, okay. What was the backlash story? Not inclusive, restrictive. But who can say no to FIFA? They own football, right? Who says no to FIFA? Can clubs say no to FIFA? No, right? So FIFA are like, Europe came with this Super League thing. Hey, if it was accepted, ish, we have a challenge now. This Club World Cup of ours is like crap. So now let's make a expanded Club World Cup that has 30 teams.
Yeah. Guys, it's just the game. Things have to evolve over time. That's just what it is. And I like it. I like it. It's good for football as a whole.
Do you guys feel like there's a tipping point to, like, there's an existential conversation when it comes to football? It's like, yeah, we've like known the status quo of football. We had COVID that made us play behind closed doors. Then fans were allowed. Super League came in. Saudi Pro League. Qatar had one of the most successful World Cups. Pro League is coming in. MLS is being sponsored by Apple. Like, I feel like something's happening in football that's like, I don't know, guys. For me, it's very like, it's unfamiliar. It seems like something's happening that I'm not sure if we are going into a predictable realm of football anymore. Like, I feel like something's coming. I can't put my finger on it, but it feels as if like the shape of football is changing somehow. But it's disruptive at the moment, but I like it.
No, I like it. I mean, the fact that let's just talk about the fact that Apple is sponsoring the MLS. We all know there's a financial incentive for them. And the financial incentive is we're going to get more streamers or users on our Apple TV. Platform. Because it's not as popular. The truth is, it's not as popular globally. Maybe in the US, it's not as popular as like your Netflix. What do we have in South Africa? Showmax, or in Africa. It's not as popular, or Prime. I mean, what is it? Is Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime is more popular.
Disney,
Yeah, Disney Plus, because of the kids. So I think they also like navigating this whole streaming industry. And it's like they met the perfect storm. And when I say they met the perfect storm, they heard Inter Miami owned by David Beckham. One's Messi. How do we capitalize on it? It's a perfect storm for them, bro. It's a perfect storm also for Lionel Messi. It's a perfect storm also for Inter Miami. It just works for all parties involved. Whether it becomes a success over time or not, time will tell. I can't say. But I'm just saying it's just a perfect deal for everyone.
Sure. Are you afraid that football is losing its purism, like its pureness, for lack of a better term, because of the commercialization it's had? Because to me, I'm a purist football fan, and I'm not sure, like, it seems as if like success is at the realm of money now. Like, Man City have proven they won the treble. I mean, who cares about Man City winning a treble? I don't. I would have celebrated. Liverpool, Arsenal. Like, those are like pure football teams, organic. But that's me being. But that's me being like. That's the thing. That's why I'm questioning. Like, is there such a thing? Because like we know some teams have a God-given right to, like, that's what we think. Like, Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester United, AC Milan, Inter Milan, those Arsenal, Bayern, those guys should be coming. But now Man City wins a treble. PSG is next. No, like
I
is
hear
it
you.
like is it like a concern for you guys that like football is losing its like purism and like merit, like
Yeah.
anyone can with like money bags can go to the top of the pile, which is like I guess merit is I guess debatable, right? If money is the merit, then
I think it's a natural cycle. I think it's a natural cycle personally, because I'm sure like 20 years ago, our dads were worried about swallows. You know what I mean? And look how shit Maraca swallows is now, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So, like, I just think like it's just a cycle. That's what I'm saying. The younger kids now, the kids who are supporting Man City and Chelsea because of the money, like it's their time now. Like, you know what I mean? And then maybe us old heads once in a while, Arsenal and Man United will do something just to be like, yeah, back to the glory days kind of thing. So I think it's just it's just a cycle. I think football and maybe just life in general is just cyclical. Like every dog has a day in a sense, you know. So who knows? Maybe in 10 years' time we'll be fighting relegation. Like you just don't know. Like it just is what it is.
But I mean,
so
yeah,
so I wouldn't. Yeah, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, sorry, man, Dogo. Just this thing is burning me. So yeah,
Go
to
ahead.
put it in context, right, Nkulego, I don't believe that there's any team like out of the teams you mentioned, right? I don't think they're purist teams. When you're talking purist team, you are talking like a Ajax Amsterdam. You're talking a PSV. I mean, Ajax Amsterdam used to win Champions Leagues, bro. Champions Leagues, not one. I think they have 2 or 3, if I'm not mistaken. Those are teams
like
that
5
literally. Oh yeah, 5. Actually, you're right, 5. Those are teams that used to literally breed a player they find down there in your hood. Hey, we see some talent, come through to the academy. Hey, come through. Let's groom you. You're in the Champions League. You're winning the Champions League. And then we sell you for big bucks to the teams that you have mentioned. Yes, there's history in Arsenal and Man United, blah, blah, blah. But the truth is, money was spent. And they also had coaches that were being paid big bucks. Is it any different to what Man City is doing? No, it's not. Just that Man City is doing it on a larger scale and in a shorter period. It's the same concept.
To your point, Madrid with their legendary President Santiago Bernabeu won 5 Champions Leagues in a row with Alfredo Di Stefano.
Madrid is just amazing. Madrid has been that team since the 60s.
So they're an institution. So is it conceivable in your mind for Madrid not to be Real Madrid? Like, can you imagine? I can't. Like, can you imagine like Madrid not being at the top of the spear? Because now the Man City won the Champions League. And money was a differentiator. They just got the best striker in the world. That's all that they needed to win the league. So now,
but we're pretending like Real Madrid has not spent money. Let's not pretend like Real Madrid has not spent a lot of money.
But we're talking heritage.
Those Champions Leagues, that heritage was bought. Let's not forget, guys.
Yes. So on your points, Jones, to go back to the thing we were saying earlier, La Liga also basically contributed to that, as we said, right, with the division of the money in that league. Like, so La Liga contributed as well. As Jimmy saying, these guys like existed in an environment where they couldn't fail, so to speak. So yes, you guys built a great team. You are amazing. You've got amazing history, and we as La Liga are going to help you stay there. We're going to give you most of the money. We're going to. So yeah, I do take your point, James. I think you make a
same thing. Same thing as Barca, Debo. What's his name? R9. When he left Inter Milan. Yeah, when he left Inter Milan, He went to Barca first before going to Real Madrid. He was not £5 million, bro. He was expensive. They've been spending money, guys. So that's why I'm not judging Man City, bro. A dynasty starts like this. It's about just maintaining it. And that's what Real Madrid have done. Their history, even going back to Raul and whatever, bro, they've been buying expensive players and winning cups. Let's not forget they won 3 Champions League or 4 with Zidane. In that team, there was CR7, Bale. It was insane. Those players were built with big bucks. Just because they have 1 year of losing, Man City bought a Haaland. Nah, guys, it's their time. It's about how you use your money. I mean, in the past, I was checking out something in the past 5 years, right? Taking it back to the Premier League. In the past 5 years, Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea has spent a lot of money. But it never materialized in any significant cups. What was the main differentiator? Man City had a clear strategy of where they are trying to go, and they got the right people in, from the coaches to everything. It's as simple as that. And that's what Real Madrid has mastered for the longest of time.
And let's not act like Man City's overnight success either, even with all the money they've spent. These guys started their process in 2008 with Robinho. Remember that?
Yep.
So they've had money for a long time, but they still had to go through the process. And that's why, I keep saying Newcastle, yes, they've got the richest owners in the world, but even them, it might take 10 years before they compete.
But can you see Dogozo and Storms? It's deterministic now. So we know over time there'll be that. We know Newcastle in 10 years.
It's not a guarantee.
It is.
Strategy.
Chelsea,
it's not as...
Chelsea, Man City, PSG. It's deterministic. Those are not football heritage team, as Mourinho would say. But it's
I don't know. I know what you're saying.
You guys have said money has made a difference. Man United as well.
Right.
Man United don't have football heritage a lot, but money helped them, right? The football heritage team is like Liverpool. Liverpool is football heritage. Even if when they won the Premier League and Champions League, it wasn't because of money. It's like football heritage. According to that. Man City is deterministic. They just gonna keep spending money until they win the Champions League. PSG,
but there's a strategy behind it, and that's what comes as saying.
And that's
don't undermine strategy that's behind it, because before, these guys waited for Pep basically. Like the guys, the technical directors and whoever, Abuchiki, whoever, those guys were with Pep at Barcelona. They arrived at Man City long before Pep even came. And from the moment they arrived, they already planned for Pep. When Pep was still starting at Bayern, they knew exactly what they were doing. Even with the coach that they had at the time, they were still kind of also buying players for when Pep comes, he must find this kind of thing. And we'll wait however long it takes, but eventually, that opportunity will meet talent or whatever
that's the point I'm making. It's deterministic. If you want to create the success that Pep guarantees you, you buy people that had Pep before. So when they get tired at Man City, these two guys can go to PSG and starts over again. So it's deterministic.
No,
we know who are the best coaches in the next. Julian Nagelsmann is the next big thing. Klopp is the next big thing. I just need to buy whoever Klopp worked under as a football director and start the process when Klopp is ready at the time. It's deterministic. It's like it can happen.
You see, what you're saying is basically what PSG is struggling with, right? Because PSG actually even have a head start to what Man City had. Because PSG just need to follow a simple blueprint. So their strategy is revolving around basically the image, basically trying to make PSG like an influencer kind of strategy, if that makes sense. So they are creating a brand based off of aesthetics. Like it's not rooted in football. That's why these guys can give. Side note, I know I'm sidetracking. Apparently, they've offered Mbappe a 10-year contract now, like just so he doesn't leave, because they realize how much of their brand is rooted in this one guy now. That if he leaves, the whole thing, you know what I mean? Like that's not strategy. Like that's not strategy at all.
So
You know,
so funny. It's
like
so
this,
funny
yeah.
that their football project fails if Mbappe leaves, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's failed. Like they pack up. Who else do you get better than Mbappe? Like it's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it this way. How many times has Real Madrid sold superstars over a period? We've seen Real Madrid sell a superstar at peak, bro, and they still win. So you see, that's a clear strategy, bro. And that's what PSG lacks. That's what Man City has been lacking for a while until those guys came. That's what Man United has been lacking for a while. I mean, I remember that one season you guys brought Sancho, Pogba, but it did not make sense for the club and where you were and where you're trying to go.
Falcao, Di Maria.
Falcao,
Di Maria. Memphis Depay. I can name them. Even at Arsenal, let's not call out Man United alone. At Arsenal, we've also made some bad decisions, and they cost us money. I mean, remember that defender from Villarreal? What was his name? Gabriel. What was his name? That guy. Paulista. Ah, imagine, bro. And we spent a lot of money there.
Strategy for one.
But side note, like, I think we have to speak about this Mbappe situation. It's quite intriguing. Eh? It's like do or die, because he's basically told them, no, stuff it. I'm playing this last season, then deuces. I'm gonna play. Like I'm gonna play. Like I'm not packing shop. I'm gonna play. Like, the fans are gonna hate me.
Mbappe doesn't respect those guys.
The fans
like, I've never seen player power like this. Like, it's like it's panicking. They are panicking.
Dude, the fans are gonna hate you. No, it's fine. I'll play. We don't want to lose you for free. No, it's fine. I'll play. Who can afford you? No one can afford Mbappe in this climate, bruh. Yo, this is mind-boggling. Like, I'm sorry, but they kind of have to injure that guy for the season, I think, in training, just to fix him all right. Huh? That's such
maybe an injury will fix things. And let me talk about it this way, right? Think about it this way. An injury to Mbappe, it works in Mbappe's favor as well as other clubs, because what happens is he's going to enter that January 2024, where he has not signed a contract extension. That automatically means it's going to be a free transfer, right? But also because he's injured, and also because he's injured, his market value is going to decrease. Guess what? Now he has more suitors. So it works for him. But also, let's not forget Kylian, because I don't want to talk. Apparently, his brother is also at PSG, and apparently he's also good. But Kylian, in particular, was never this type of person. PSG themselves have created this monster, and I do not feel sorry for them. They have to deal with this monster. It's as simple as that.
Yo. But guys, no, like, I know they created this monster, but that's his Gen Z tendencies, but like they gave him the freedom of Paris. They created a project around him. Like one bad season, not winning the Champions League with so much money. But I guess whatever, it's a much of a muchness. But I just think he's some type of way. But like, where does he go?
I respect him. Let me tell you why I respect Mbappe, right? I respect him. One, he realized the opportunity of money. He took it. He's made his money. Number two, he knows the power he has in Paris, or in fact in France. The fact that the president can call you. My nigga, that nigga is in the same WhatsApp group as the president of France. Right? That's already a problem on its own. But I respect that, because for someone that's younger than 28 to be running the show like that, I gotta respect him. Number 3, he played with the best team. I mean, the best player in the whole world. And that nigga was not feeling Messi. For me, that's not a level of arrogance. But the truth is, when Mbappe's on the pitch, he delivers. Like, he has that arrogance and all, but he actually delivers. So what do you do to someone like that? You can't discipline someone like that. Because when you tell them, you know what, I need 5 goals, they score the 5 goals. And then what?
Right.
And then what?
Like Rio Ferdinand once said it, Pravuti. Rashford and Mbappe are the same player. The only thing with Mbappe, the only difference is that he knows for sure is the shit. Like, he knows, and he knows that he can do what he knows good. Like, sharp. It's not even a doubt in his mind. It's like, like, it's guaranteed. Like, like, he doesn't even hesitate. Like, he doesn't even like, sure, bruh. That's the only difference with. I think he has the best mentality. I don't know if
he
has
a beast mentality. He honestly has a beast mentality. For the fact, bro, like I said, you are playing with the GOAT and you don't feel the GOAT. You are playing with Neymar, arguably way better than you. You even know he's way better than you. But you like, you know what? On the pitch, I will show you him. I am Mbappe. And he does. And then he plays with France. He does not care who he's playing with, bro. He plays with France against the best team, the weakest team. He does his job. For me, guys,
did you see?
You can't hate on someone like that.
Did you see his arrogance? His arrogance at the World Cup final, guys.
Yes.
I don't know if any of you doubted that he's gonna score that penalty that's gonna take it to penalty, like 3-3. I didn't doubt it, but I was like, I knew as soon as I got that. As soon as I got that penalty, I was like, it's 3-3, it's going to penalties. I knew it. Yeah. Like, I didn't see that guy literally picked up the ball. What ref Melewe. He just that guy even guessed the right way. He beat a keeper 3 times in the same spot, and the keeper guessed the right way 3 times. By Shy, what
Mbappe's mentality is different. Mbappe's mentality is different.
That's what I'm saying, guys. I can't hate on him. I respect him. And the fact that he tells the whole PSG with their millions or their billions, he's like, guys, he's sharp. That also tells me, you know what it also tells me? It tells me that he's not greedy. Any other player would have been swayed by the money that's been presented. So it tells me that he's past the money phase. He wants to win something. And we all know he grew up with posters of Real Madrid, and he knows that's where he wants to go. It's just a matter of, it's just that he needs to humble himself when it comes to Pires and say, Pires and Jayam, I'll take 5 million. Just buy it. Because he wants to win the Champions League with Real Madrid, not with PSG.
And he's making it achievable, right? Because like, PS, Real Madrid, Zahuay, they won't afford me. I must just go for free. I just needed this money. There's a reason why he signed 2 years at PSG. There's no way you can accept 2 years for such a lot of money if you are willing to stay for long. Like, what did PSG think?
Yep. And I mean, right now, that vacancy in that number 9 position at Real Madrid is just waiting for him. Everyone knows who needs to occupy that. It's just him. It's written in the stars. And we all know what's going to happen when he gets to Real Madrid. Back-to-back Champions Leagues.
Facts.
Sure.
No, I believe it. Real Madrid is starting to look like Crystal Palace. All these black players, dude.
let's cut them to Ozo. Antonio Rudiger.
Nigga.
Kamavinga. Fellaini.
Militao.
Militao.
Alaba.
Rodrigo.
Did you count Mendy?
Yeah, Alaba.
Chumeni.
Too many. Bellingham.
Bellingham.
And Vinicius. Basically,
Vinicius. Rodrigo, if you count him as well.
the only player that's not black is Courtois. He doesn't have a backup, but that entire starting 11 is black.
Yes.
What?
Yes. Yeah. And considering it's one of the racist leagues, that's crazy. So you are in the racist league, playing for the best team in that league. In fact, arguably the best team. Sure.
All black.
Yo.
I can't wait. Los Blancos, but all black players. That's fine. Fine.
Hey, that's funny though. And that's the funny thing. My earlier comment was like, is there something happening in football? This is it, right? There's no purism in football. It's whatever you want now. Like, no one has a God-given right to maintain tradition, right? What's football heritage?
Yeah. I want us to on transfers, guys.
Yes.
A lot's been happening.
That's the big point. I think Gamza, top 5 eye-catching for you?
Top 5 eye-catching for me, and I'm trying to be objective. 1, that Onana one. I don't think people realize how big that transfer is. And I'm going to tell you how big that transfer is. It's not about the money.
Oh, nah. What's my name?
What's my name? It's about what Ten Hag is getting out of it. Number 1, Ten Hag has been crying, guys, that he wants to play from the back. He got the center backs. He got the the right back. He has every player to start the ball from the back except the goalkeeper. De Gea was just not so great with his feet. Now he has a specialist who is great at his feet. We all know that Onana is not the greatest of keepers. He's like an Ederson. You see that Ederson from Man City. Ederson from Man City is not a great keeper.
No.
But he just does enough as a shot stopper. He's not David De Gea stopping level. Don't get it twisted.
No.
But he does enough. But what's important, his feet and that distribution. And that's what Onana is going to give. And that's a different dynamic for Man United. And I think it's going to be very crucial. He's a crucial signing for Man United. So for me, that's number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, Declan Rice, bro. I'm not even going to lie. It's not about the money. I know everyone's like, hey. Arsenal spend. No. It's not about the money. Like Declan Rice is going to be a leader immediately when he gets on the starting 11. Yeah, and that's what Arsenal has been for years.
Let's be mindful of the motivation. Top 5, quick run.
Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. Let's be Declan Rice. Jude Bellingham going to Real Madrid. Top signing for both player and me. Let me see. Which one stands out? What am I forgetting? Depending on this is a possible one. If Harry Kane goes to Bayern Munich, that changes the dynamic of football again. If that happens, yes, it changes everything.
Okay, you have 4 now. Number 5.
The last one I have to say is the guy Liverpool bought from RB Leipzig. That guy, top signing.
Okay, Dogo.
A lot of mine are similar to Gamza's one, but there's one signing I want to point out as eye-catching, and eye-catching potentially for the wrong or right reasons. Havertz for me is like I really need to see what Arteta is plotting here, because you guys know I'm one of Havertz's biggest haters, right? And he's at my team now. I have to support. That's fine, but I can't say I'm not worried. I don't know if you guys saw that skills challenge in the MLS thing. he couldn't score one volley. Apparently, it's the first time a player is unable to like score a volley. So yeah, I think that one is one I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on. Havertz at Arsenal, sure. I really hope it works out. But yeah, everything else the same. I think Rice. I think Onana. Yes, So I don't know how much time we have. I don't want to go on
2
for
minutes.
too long.
2 minutes. Yeah.
Onana. Okay, let me just speak quickly, and maybe we can have this conversation another time. But this thing about Ten Hag wanting to play from the back, it's kind of confusing because he's buying kind of players that are contrary to that philosophy. Because you buy Onana, yes, comfortable keeper on the ball, but then you've got players like Mount, who's not really like a possession-based kind of player. So it looked to me like Ten Hag wants to play a transitional kind of football with the types of players we had with Mount and Rashford, all of those guys up top. But then with Onana at the back, it's like I don't understand really what you're trying to do. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. So Strumpers 1 plus Havertz.
Okay, that's a good point. So for me, quick fire top 5: Bellingham, Timber, Rice, Onana, McAllister.
Oh, McAllister.
Yeah.
How do we forget that?
Those are my eye-catching 5. And we're only in July, guys. So I think when we engage again, maybe in a week's time, I think the Kane one is gonna be a shift. And my personal loss, eye-catching, like actually, okay, I remove who's this guy from the list? Timber. Team J to Bayern Munich.
Ooh.
Korean Maguire.
Yeah, Korean Maguire. Yeah.
Korean but anyway, just to quickly protect Kai Havertz fast, since he's an Arsenal player. I'm always painting one perspective of him. I need to clear it up. Yes, he missed in the skills challenge, but in the actual match, he's got a beautiful goal. So I don't know.
And and
that's where it comes.
That's where we end off because we're protecting Kai Havertz. I can't believe it. Cool, gents. Amazing chat. Let's do this in the next one. Away.
Cheers, gents.